great marijuana. That is the purpose of this meeting, ladies and gentlemen.
Marijuana is referred to as Mary Jane, pot, weed, or tea.
That Michoacan, man, Acapulco gold, man. I even smoked that tight stick.
We're smoking reefer.
The weirdest thing smoking on the internet. The Podheads Web Show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's 4:20 on a Wednesday, and you're in the Cypher with the Podheads. I'm your Commander-in-Chief, Frank the Tank, and as always, I'm hanging with my very best buds, JB Perez.
What's up? JB Perez in the Cypher with the best of buzz. We're the Podheads Web Show at the Podheads Web Show. WJHM102jams.com is our main page. Spreaker and all the social media. We're on there. Find us. It's going to be a good show, guys. See money.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show. We're going to talk some crazy possible impeachments, I think. Probably not, though, because billionaires don't get in trouble here in this country. But it's going to be a good one nonetheless. What's going on, guys? How are you?
Great, guys. Always a pleasure to have you guys here in the Cypher. Thanks for listening. Like JB said, WJHM 102 Jams. Hashtag Weed Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Also, literally everywhere else. Find us. Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, iHeart, all that stuff. Our podcast is out there. Look for it. Listen, share with your friends. We appreciate the love. Shout out to V from Bagels and Shade. She won the contest on the big glass pipe, for showing love on social media. We put out the rules. She followed. She won. So shout out to V out there from Bagels and Shade. Also, I recorded with her when I delivered the prize over. We did a great episode and got to sample all these cool little products from this cannabis expo that happened here in Florida over the weekend. So that was really cool. We smoked some CBD wraps, tried some drops, some energy drinks, CBD energy drinks. They've got it all. So check out me on the Bagels and Shade podcast on Spreaker. So that was cool. Anyway, before we get into things, guys, it's going to be a good one. We're going to talk Donald Trump, and the impeachment. I've sworn off talking Donald Trump like last year because I was just tired of it. But this is kind of a big deal, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion. But before we get into anything, gentlemen, shall we do this as we always do?
Yes, that's what I've been waiting for right there. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we missed that last episode. So in essence, we haven't done this for 2 episodes, 2 weeks.
Wow.
A bunch of podheads over here.
Right? Memory's so bad from smoking that we forgot to smoke.
That's funny.
What do you guys have? The names of what you got? I got some berry lemon sativa indica hybrid. It's me pretty hard, man. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's pretty sweet. What do you guys got?
You vaping over there? You're penning?
Yeah, as usual.
With all the stuff going on in the news over there.
That's not the same thing, though. Those people are smoking aerosols. He is straight up vaping. But
that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Now I got the wax going on. This is actually called lemon stank. Lemon stank. Is it lemon stank? Like lemon skunk.
I don't even remember.
Lemon
must be good.
I like
it
anything.
Is good.
Anything
citrus. Yeah, you are. I thought about you, C-Money, exactly. And it tastes like lemon and smells super skunky. So the name is exactly what it is. So
I haven't re-upped in a while. I'm smoking some dry fire. It's good stuff, but it's dry as hell. I've had it for weeks.
Bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, I haven't been feeling it. I've been a little bit under the weather, so I haven't gotten out. My butt is so dry. I mean, you touch it, you look at it hard enough, it just disintegrates, dude.
Do you guys, I always had the theory that dried out bud gets you higher quicker, like it hits you harder. Like a dried blunt from the night before, I feel like it burns fast, obviously, but I feel like it just hits you so much harder. Is that just me, or do you guys ever have that correlation?
I think there's a little bit to that because when I smoke young bud, I don't know if that makes sense, young bud, it didn't cure enough, it doesn't smoke as well.
Sure.
So I think it's just still water kind of in the system there in the flower, and that just takes away from the highness. I think C-Money's on to something.
I don't know. I'm no grower. I'm a smoker. But I know we got to get into the week in weed, but I want to get your guys' opinion real quick about the Super Bowl show. The latest act. We're having the Super Bowl here in Miami this year, and they announced the latest act. Obviously, sticking with the whole Latin vibe. They've got J-Lo and Shakira. This is 15-year-old Frankie's wet dream. You know what I'm saying?
This is 33 JB's wet dream.
Yeah, right?
What are you talking?
J-Lo and Shakira, that's fantastic, man. Come on.
Yeah, okay. So I'm a fan.
And to your point, Frankie, you said it. Miami, Latin, right? Jay-Z's part of the NFL situation. So you see,
I think he had a little something to do with that. Yeah, come on.
Using his tentacles, his connection to make it a bomb-ass halftime show. So big ups to Rock Nation and NFL for having a pretty decent halftime showing.
JB, it's time for my favorite segment because I've been reading a lot of things about cannabis and I just want to hear what JB has to say about it. The Week in Weed.
Wherever you are, wherever you go, whatever you're smoking on, the news that matter to you, the news you want. It's the Week in Weed. Thank you for that, C-Money. Wonderful segue and intro too. That's right. Hashtag the Week in Weed. It's where I bring you the latest and greatest cannabis news from around the world. And let's get right into it, guys. Hashtag the Week in Weed. The first headline is coming out of Ecuador. They're the next country to legalize medical marijuana. So shout out to them. I'm actually reading a website in Spanish to get that Week in Weed news for you guys. Nice. But basically the news is coming out of here that they voted to make cannabis legal over there. 65 votes out of 70 passed. And big shout outs to them.
Yeah.
They got pretty much it on that news. Yeah, Ecuador. I know that the dollar goes a real long way, so if we go to Ecuador to party nowadays,
they say Ecuador is the best place to retire out there. Basically, your dollar goes a lot further in Ecuador than it would pretty much anywhere else.
So there you go. The full-fledged, all the way through medical cannabis is legal in Ecuador. So shout out to them guys. Moving on, let's stay away from America for the next headline coming out of Australia. So in Australia, they have capital, they have territory. So where the capital of Australia is, that county, they call it a territory. That whole county legalized recreational marijuana. So shout out to that Australian Capital Territory. They're the first jurisdiction in the country to do so. No real facts other than let's put one up in the air for Australia because it is cool. News when a country makes that left turn or that right turn and says, all right, let's go for it. We're going to legalize it. It's a big ups for everybody across the world for the 420 movement. Moving on, guys, we're going to go a little bit on the dark side here a little bit. I joked about vaping when we moved on with C-Money, but there's actually a serious vaping situation going on across America. And while I was doing research behind that, I found out that in California, I talked about last week, they have a huge black market for cannabis, right? Well, they have a huge black market for counterfeit cannabis vaporizers. Guys, that California is also dealing with a flooding of cannabis, of illegal counterfeit cannabis vaporizers, right? You can literally go to the store and buy the components you need to be able to put it in a cartridge and smoke it. And that's probably part of a lot of the deaths and sicknesses that are happening around the country in regards to e-vaping and THC vaping and all that stuff. That's your headline, guys. The news is out there. I don't know. Buy your stuff from the dispensary. It's legal for a reason. Yeah.
Come on.
It's a little expensive, but you know what you're getting. Yeah,
exactly. You wouldn't go out and buy backwoods hooch now, would you? I mean, most people don't. You have the small population who like their moonshine, but I think for safety reasons and for obvious reasons, everybody should kind of just, if it's legal, go about it the legal way.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at the clock, it's moving quick on me. I wanted to, before I move on to the last Week in Weed headline, I just want to give you guys an update. Last show, I talked about they were going to push to legalize banking for marijuana businesses. Well, it passed the House of Representatives, and that's a good sign. Now it's going to move to the Senate and then hopefully to the president. Again, this is on a federal level, so it basically passed that first hurdle, that roadblock. So all signs point to go.
We live in a pretty awesome time now for cannabis, I must say. Like, we're still in prime age to enjoy. Like, imagine 5 years from now what's going to be on the shelves at dispensaries, you know? So it's pretty sweet.
That's
Yep.
true.
Okay, last one, guys. Hashtag the week of weed. The last headline is this: science, medicine, the facts. Here you go. Research in the King's College of London. Long story short is this: patients with psychosis were treated with CBD and have been found to basically reset those psychotic episodes. And that's your headline, guys. CBD. There is scientific proof that THC may even cause psychosis, right? Paranoia, psychosis, those kinds of things. Well, CBD, the medicine part of the marijuana plant, has been shown to basically counteract that effect, reverse that effect. And the way the doctors did it in this report, they did the blind test, right? Half this, half that. They took patients that were not diagnosed yet, but were showing the symptoms and showing, they're likely going to be treated or diagnosed as having psychosis. Well, they gave some CBD, some placebos, and they found out that those that took the CBD, those symptoms and those reactions they had to the psychosis were limited, right? They essentially were reversed. So take that with what you will, guys. Another study, another medical study that shows that CBD, right? We talked about how CBD is a true medicine. Well, here you go. Another thing that CBD has been proven to do is help with psychosis.
That's crazy. No pun intended.
Crazy and freaking awesome. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So
that's
if you're...
it's very interesting because THC is known to cause psychosis. So it's really interesting that CBD and THC counteract each other in certain cases. Really? And it's also ironic that, like you just said, CBD helps it and THC can cause it if it's in like a high dose and there's certain parts of the brain, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not going to go down that road.
Well, just like this study says, these people were not diagnosed with having psychosis. They were just showing these symptoms. And we all show symptoms. It's really just how THC affects you. And we talked about that before. It's not the bud. It's you and your brain and your medulla oblongata. So there you go, guys. Hashtag the week in weed. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're getting some benefit out of that. We're the Podheads Web Show at the Podheads Web Show. You're listening to us on WJHM 102 Jams again, so thank you so much. And when we come back, we're going to go talk about Trump and hopefully get him out of the office. So, yeah, we'll be back, guys. It's the Podheads.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810. See David Smith Law.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help people.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
That website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
The Ted Beard Show would like to thank one of our awesome sponsors, SlutChannelUS.com. These guys are very, very cool. They bring 21st century surface drainage solutions to reality. They can do corporate and government work. These are the guys that make roads and bridges safe in the rain. You can see all about them at SlutChannelUS.com. That website again is SlutChannelUS.com. Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
The Podheads Web Show presents Pioneers in Pot. Tom Forcade. Considered an unsung hero of the cannabis movement, Forcade is most notably recognized as the founder of the marijuana-centric publication High Times magazine. Within months, articles about cultivation, medicinal properties, and political criticisms would be read by millions. By the end of the late 70s, the magazine's readership would compete with the likes of Rolling Stone and National Lampoons. A political activist and self-proclaimed social architect, Tom Forcade stood against censorship and helped to inspire marijuana law reform. In 1978, Thomas King Forcade died tragically as the result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was only 33, but to this day, inspired publications and advocacy groups such as NORML continue to spread his message. Put one in the air for Tom Forcade, a true pioneer in pot.
All right, and you're back with the Podheads Web Show, at the Podheads Web Show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Reach out to us, guys. Let us know what you're toking on. And this is an interesting one because I think we vowed on the show as well not to really talk about politics or Trump or anything like that. But as Frank the Tank said, this is kind of a big thing. And I'll just admit right away, I don't think he's going to get impeached, Mr. President there. Because for some reason he just seems to dodge all the bullets. But I do want to know what you guys think, and I'm sure our listeners are curious as well, or at least some, because it's kind of a big deal, you know? So I just want to know what my co-hosts think. Do you really think this is all for real? Because, of course, the comments I read on the YouTube videos and all that, because I'll be the first one to say I don't understand politics at all, and I never really took interest in it. So my opinion doesn't really mean much, but, the comments and stuff I read are saying some of the Congress members that were grilling him were full of it. And then they're saying, the guy on trial was full of it, which I kind of thought he was too. The eye flickering was pretty crazy, and just the dancing around questions. And what do you guys think?
Well, let's say this to give a little context. If President Trump is impeached, he will be the third president to ever be impeached, which I think that's pretty intense. Given the history of the nation, right? Now, no president has ever been successfully impeached. You can impeach a president. All that means is to put them on trial. You know what I mean? Now, whether you successfully prove it and kick them out is another thing. Obviously, it's never been done, right? They had Clinton up there with the Monica Lewinsky thing, and that actually ended up backfiring on the Republicans. So the Democrats here are being very cautious. People like Nancy Pelosi, who have been holding back on impeachment. People have been screaming about impeachment since day one. What I think this is really all about is the next election. They can impeach him, but they know they're not going to get him out of office. He's got a year anyway. This whole damn process could take longer than that. This is all about election 2020 and making sure that Trump does not get reelected, because I believe that he has a real chance for re-election. And I think they believe the same thing. If this is going on, if he's in the middle of an impeachment, if we're showing how ugly this guy, because he's going to implode in on himself like a dying star. He's going to lose his mind. We're talking Saddam Hussein in the trials back in 2004, you know what I mean, and the war crime trials. So this guy, he's going to lose his mind on everybody who questions him. But it's just going to make him look bad, I think. I don't think this is really about getting him out of office.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you that the process of impeachment and all those legalities take time, and by that time, it's time to choose another president. But I think that the Democrats and those calling for an impeachment have finally got something that they know will absolutely stick. And that it was actually interfering what Donald Trump was actually asking for when he was, doing this illegal shit was a federal crime. Try to influence a United States presidential race.
Well, how is this different from the first thing with the Russia and the Obama campaign?
That's my point. That they couldn't make that stick. Everybody knows that, but they actually have a whistleblower, recordings, and Donald Trump's voice saying, yeah, I need another country to investigate my opponent's family to dig up dirt. That's despicable. That's something that it's on paper.
Here's
the
thing.
Straw that they've been waiting for.
Joe,
right?
Okay, so quick facts, if you haven't heard, Joe Biden is obviously running against Donald Trump in the 2020 election, right? He's probably the front runner for the Democratic election right now, or nomination right now. So Donald Trump has a conversation over the phone with the president of Ukraine, and supposedly asks the president of Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden's son, and quote unquote come up with some kind of dirt, some kind of charges
interference
on Joe Biden's son.
I need your interference on Joe Biden's son.
So the fact of the matter is, that company, I can't remember the name of the company, but the company that Joe Biden's son works for has been investigated in the past for certain violations, and certain corruption. So the case is not as strong, I guess, as many might think. Like, there are some things that would create reasonable doubt here. You know what I'm saying? So if, say, Donald Trump could make people believe that, look, the guy's kid is working for a corrupt-ass company, and I want you guys to investigate that company and make sure that everything's on the up and up. What is it? Plausible deniability could be in play here. Who knows? And now, the whole McGuire testimony, I don't know if you watched that, but I've been, like I said, I've been under the weather, so I've been at home watching this. This guy, this is old man, he is the director of the intelligence, of national intelligence or something like that, and they're grilling him here at
He's basically the boss of the whistleblower, right? Because I believe the whistleblower was a CIA agent or something.
Exactly.
So they brought his boss in to ask these questions, and he didn't do a very good job.
Well, he didn't want to answer any questions.
Right.
You know, they were trying to say, why the hell did you go to the White House to ask their advice what you should do with evidence that the White House is effing up?
It's clear because he wants to keep his job, but he doesn't know if he should lie for the president. You understand? Like, these people are between a rock and a hard place. Do I protect the president
tough place,
or lie to the public? Like, let me just go to the president and ask him what he wants me to do so that, I don't go to jail.
And it's a terrible thing because I think this is a lot of what divides our country. Many people say that if I criticize the government, if we criticize the president, then we are patriots, right? If you burn the flag, then you are anti-government, that you are just a piece of crap. But no, the Constitution, the very values, the very idea that this country was created on is a suspicion of government, was so that to give power to the people. So
that's why we came to America, to run away from crappy governments.
To hold your government accountable is to be a patriot. That's how you protect liberty. You protect this country against all threats, foreign and domestic. Right? I took that oath. And so whether you're the president or you're a terrorist, if your interests are not in line with America's interests, then you and I are not cool. The problem is you got so many people that are like, oh, no, the president is the United States. And if you don't support him, you're a traitor.
No, absolutely not. The president is a civil servant. He is working for me. He is working for me, for you, for every listener listening to us, for every person in America. He is our employee. And if I want to fire him because he sucks at his job, I should have every right to do so. There are legal ways to do that, and impeachment is one of them.
Absolutely, yeah. I really don't think that they're actually going to successfully impeach him. But I think that they've got enough, like you said, JB. I think they've got enough to go forward with impeachment proceedings. And I think that's enough to hurt the Republicans in the 2020 election. C-Money, you haven't said a whole lot on this. I want to get your take because I know you like to play devil's advocate And I want to see the other side of this coin.
Well, it's tough for me because if you were to ask me how Congress works and how, who's in charge of what and what the order is in terms of passing laws, and I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like, that's why there's college courses on some of this stuff, to be totally honest. So, what I think though is if what was the guy's name on trial? Yeah, if he's the whole thing, right, is that he should have passed the information onto Congress rather than sit on it and determine if it was important or not, blah, 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 blah. So that is really shady. So it's one of those things where it's like it's the first time ever that you didn't do your job. I mean, it's kind of, in that sense, like black and white, because, like, I go back to even look at something like the Epstein thing. Like, I feel like they just do things now that's just so blatant because they're either falling out of their ways or, the people that are shady, they're starting to slip up now. You know what I mean?
And maybe there are a few so powerful that they can't be touched, and they've been getting away with it for so long that they're just sloppy now. They don't even care.
Yeah, that's possible too. I mean, again, like Trump's dodged a lot of bullets as far as we all know. You know what I mean? And
he feels untouchable.
But you know what? You say that, Frank, but even in like football and sports, it's one thing to somebody said you said something, and it's a whole different thing of me hearing you or seeing you do something or say something. They actually have Donald Trump's voice recorded breaking the law. That's a big deal compared to all the other things saying, oh, Trump this, Trump that. No, we actually have proof, something that might stick. So I feel like that is fine. It's like I said, the straw that they were waiting for. Yeah, and I think that's why it is different. What else do you want, right? Here you go. Presented for you. Guy's a scumbag.
On the surface, it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal, but it really does undermine the whole election process. So for that, he should burn. But like I said, I think this is all about the next election. But we'll see. Let us know what you think. Look for us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at the Podheads Web Show. We'll be back, and we'll find out what burns some money's high. It's the Podheads.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Mr. Trump. What's new?
What do you mean, what's new, Rudy? I'm being impeached. It's the greatest presidential harassment of all time, I would know. I'm like the president of harassment.
You gotta relax, Mr. Trump. We got nothing to worry about. Nobody's gonna find out about our illegal side dealings with the Ukraine.
Good.
Or how we tried to cover up those side dealings.
Great.
Or how we plan to cover up the cover-up.
Rudy.
Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org. The Type U Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373. The Tribia Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator bites. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now to get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com.
And you're back with the Potheads. It's JB Perez in the Cypher with Frank the Tank and C Money. Thanks again to you for listening, our great fans out there, for WJHM and all the great folks out there. Yeah, let's keep on with the show before we move on to C Money's Burns My High segment. It's time. It's my turn to do the drug screening. So here we go.
Did you ever see Son of a Woman?
Yup.
You ever seen Son of a Woman on weed?
You may have seen him before, but you've never seen him like this. We've scoured the archives in search of some of the worst movies just to bring you the hidden nugs that were made better by Bud. The Podheads Web Show presents The Drug Screening.
Hashtag the drug screening is where we screen the best and worst movies out there that are definitely made better with cannabis. And it's my turn, and the movie that I've chosen, 30 Minutes or Less. 30 Minutes or Less, I'm sure you've heard it if you're into that kind of that stoner mentality, right? Jesse Eisenberg, Danny McBride, Aziz Ansari, Nick Swartzen, that kind of movie, you know what I'm talking about. So definitely lowbrow, a little kind of gag comedy. 30 Minutes or Less is where Jesse Eisenberg plays basically a pizza delivery guy who gets he gets abducted by Danny McBride and Nick Swartzen's characters and forced to rob a bank. And basically the movie goes from there where they get into it, dealing with the cops and assassins and flamethrowers.
Well, they force him to rob a bank by strapping a bomb to his neck.
Sorry, I forgot the main part. And he's got 30 minutes or less.
Great movie. You know, I heard that was based on a true story. Or like loosely based on a true story, yeah.
Yeah, telling C Money's like every time I watch this movie, it reminds me of the true story where a real life pizza delivery guy got a bomb strapped to his neck, forced to rob a bank. The cops stopped him, say, "Where you going?" He's like, "I gotta go deliver this money," and the bomb explodes, kills the guy. That was a real true story. Pretty crazy. Yeah, you definitely got to be stoned to really enjoy it because it got 44% on the Rotten Tomatoes. It's actually on an hour and 20 minutes long, so if you're trying to get a quick laugh in, this movie's definitely, one of the short, funny ones. And it's funny. Crude gags, a little bit of sex, a little bit of violence, all the stuff that we enjoy.
Yeah.
So 30 minutes or less.
Definitely a good stoner movie. Good pick there, JB. Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I like everyone that you listed, so I probably have to check it out.
Oh, yeah. 30 minutes or less.
And there you go, guys. Hashtag the drug screening. Check it out. Watch it. Let us know what you think. And it's time now, C Money. Tell me what's up. Tell me what burns your high.
Yeah, thank you for that segue, sir. It's one of my, I wouldn't say favorite segments because that sounds kind of douchey, but it's definitely an important segment because it helps me from imploding. So this is what burns my high.
Hey buds, this is Making C Money from the Podheads Web Show. Welcome to my segment called Burns My High. This is a segment where I vent to my fellow peers, listeners, and friends about what irritated me since the last time we came together. Usually everyday life dealing with everyday people. I'm a Sicilian from New Jersey and I've just been told that I'm funny when I rant and rave. So this is what bothered me since the last time I got together with you guys.
And thank you for joining the Buds and I in the Cypher for What Burns My High, the segment where you vent with me, or I vent with you rather, a little comedic humor that we can all relate to that helps us get through the day. So, This happened to me while I was driving. It was really funny, but it was also terrifying. When was the last time you guys had an eyelash fall in your eye? That was like, just
Yeah, when you're driving, it's the worst. Yeah.
That's exactly what happened to me. I'm driving on the highway doing 80 miles an hour, and I'm just blinking, just like a normal human would. And all of a sudden, I just have to start twitching my right eye, bro. And I'm sitting there driving, and I'm like, oh God, oh no. And it's one of those where it starts itching, and then it kind of hurts a little bit. It almost goes in the front of your pupil even, and I'm sitting there trying to not swerve and die on the highway, trying to get an eyelash out of my eye. It was terrible, man.
I'm the guy that would just like put my palm in my eye and just like just like polishing my eyeball with my hair, and they're just trying to like push it out, right? Squeeze it out. The eye has a interesting way of like just grabbing foreign objects and just sliding it downward and like towards the edges. So I was just like helping it, like
God. I've never had that kind of luck. I've had to take Q-tips and literally pull down my eye or my eyelid and then brush the Q-tip against my eyeball to get the lash off my eye. And I've had to do that a few times.
So it didn't come out naturally, is what you're saying. You actually had to use a tool.
Exactly.
That would burn my eye for sure.
Yeah.
This happens to me. There's no way to segue, so I'll just list them as I go. This one happens to me every morning, and I'm surprised I'm bringing it up now. Every morning when my hands are somehow freezing, I guess I have poor circulation, but when you have really, really, really cold hands and you have to take a piss, and it's just you just take like your fingers like pincers, and you just kind of just hold everything in place because it's just terrifying, man.
I had a
girlfriend
had that.
What? My hands? Your hands have never been freezing. You had to gone.
My feet are always freezing cold.
My feet are cold right now. Yeah.
I'm a morning sitter. It's too early to
pee in the morning.
Yes. Oh, I'm definitely a morning sitter, so I don't have to deal with that problem.
Wait a minute. I've never heard of that term. Morning sitter? Is that a kind of dog? Is that a dog breed?
It's the only time that I'll pee sitting down is at that time when I'm waking up and I gotta go. It's
Give
too
me your
early
man
to be
card,
trying to
bro.
get my balance, trying to hit the
no-
target. My
put your
hands
hand
are
on the
freezing.
There's no morning sit. I don't sit and pee ever, bro. That's crazy.
I've never heard of that term. Learn something new every day about each other.
It's quite comfortable, guys. Just have a seat.
This one is probably. I want to know what you guys think about this next one. I hate when people give other people who do good deeds flack for filming it. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's actually a big thing. There's a good deed of someone giving someone a homeless person like McDonald's or $100 or whatever it may be, and a lot of them, hundreds of thousands of comments are, of course, not playing devil's advocate like we like to do just for fun and for interesting conversation. They are genuine, and they're just like, oh yeah, great job, bro, but you shouldn't film me, blah, blah, attention whore, blah, blah, blah. And my take on it is, I would film myself doing something in that sense too. And it wouldn't be for attention. My take is, I'm doing it, so get up off your ass and go do it too. You can, if you see a homeless dude and you're walking down the street and you're not in a rush or anything, and there happens to be a McDonald's, you can spend $5. You know what I mean?
I've thought about this many a times, especially in the world of social media today. And I absolutely have no problem with anybody who takes a picture after doing something nice. In fact, I applaud it. Like, I would want more. Yes, take more pictures of the good in the world. I would say that there are a portion of people who do it for the attention of social media. But what's wrong with that? Especially in our business, right? We're a podcast trying to get famous. I would totally be taking pictures of the homeless guy that I gave a blunt to or fed his lunch or whatever. Not only because I felt good about it, but hey, check it out, guys. We're the Podheads. Look what we're doing. It's the right way to be conceited, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it is. What do you think, Frank the Tank?
Yeah, I guess I'm a little on the fence.
He would step over him and say, "Get it together, Grouch.
Get it together, Grouch. Get a job, Grouch." No, I think there is something a little disingenuous about somebody who would film themselves doing something charitable. I also agree with what you guys said in terms of it's good to spread the good news. There's not enough good news out there. You know, you turn on the TV and you hear all the crap that's going on in the world. It makes you sick. So it's nice to look on social media or wherever and hear about it. But usually if it's a big enough deal, somebody else will kind of say something. But I don't know, bro. You know, it's hard. We're not saints here. You know what I mean?
All I've ever wanted to do was be able to pay somebody's rent with like a tip, right? If a byproduct of that is me taking a picture with her to get a little bit more likes, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Sure. What do you guys tip? While we're on the subject, what's your average?
It depends if I'm broke or not, dude.
If it's delivery or takeout, I just round it up to the nearest 5 or 10. But on the restaurant, it's usually about 20% unless I'm trying to show off at a high restaurant. Then I'll, tip a little higher just because of the setting. You feel compelled to spend a little bit more. I'm not spending 30% at Olive Garden.
No, but I'll say this because I don't want to take too much of your time. You're running out. See, money is. I've got minor OCD. I have to finish on a round number, so it's either got to end in a 5 or a 0. And so I say, the OCD giveth and taketh away. You could get 22%. If the math works out that way, right. You could get 18%, 17% if the math works out that way too. Either way, it's still not bad. I mean, 18% is not a bad tip. It just depends on how it works out. More often than not, it works out in their benefit.
But yeah, so like I said, it also depends if I'm really broke. But if I go to Chili's and I have enough to get delivered, chicken fingers or something like that, and I can only give them $3, then yeah, it is what it is, man. I want the chicken fingers, but you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Munchies are munchies, but that's all the time I have for my segment, guys. We gotta take a break. We will be right back after these commercials at the Potheads Web Show. #CMunchies. If you go to my Instagram at Making C Money, you'll see all the food stuff I make. I actually made beef bulgogi tonight. Frank the Tank has made that before too. I tried HelloFresh. Pretty awesome, delicious.
Nice.
So go take a look at that picture I posted. It's awesome. We'll be right back, guys.
Hey buds, this is Making C Money, co-host of the Potheads Web Show, the newest web show blazing the internet. If you want education, comedy, and the latest news in cannabis, join us in the Cypher every Wednesday right here on WJHM 102 Jams.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810. See David Smith Law.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help people.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
That website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
The Ted Beard Show would like to thank one of our awesome sponsors, SlutChannelUS.com. These guys are very, very cool. They bring 21st century surface drainage solutions to reality. They can do corporate and government work. These are the guys that make roads and bridges safe in the rain. You can see all about them at SlutChannelUS.com. That website again is SlutChannelUS.com. Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service. And firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sea Munchies, where I bring to you all the delicious things that I have discovered in my munchie journey to satisfy those cravings after a little blaze session. These are baked garlic and balsamic fries. I got these out of a magazine, and I cannot remember the name of the magazine, so forgive me. But this is super delicious, super easy as always for a fry seasoning. So what we're going to do is we're going to need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of white balsamic vinegar, and ketchup or chili sauce is optional. I go with chili sauce. It's a little hotter, has a little better flavor than ketchup in my opinion. Obviously, you don't need the chili sauce if you don't like something with a kick, then just stick with the ketchup, but again, both are optional. So what you're going to do is you're going to combine the ingredients into a bowl, and you're going to actually lightly toss the fries. I just use frozen french fries. Obviously, handmade fries would be perfect, but sometimes time is of the essence, and frozen fries are perfect too, right? I actually air fry my french fries too. If you don't have an air fryer, you need to go on my Instagram at Making Sea Money and see some of the stuff that I air fry. Those things are the future. You fry things with no oil. It's so amazing. Delicious fries, guys. As we're ending summer here, it's actually fall already, so we're going to get into some fall recipes shortly here on Sea Munchies. Thanks for joining me at the Potheads Web Show. I'm out.
All right. Thank you, Sea Money, for another awesome edition of Sea Munchies. Hashtag Sea Munchies. Hashtag Weed Wednesdays. And hashtag Higher Learning, because it's that time again, folks. Get your pen and pads out. This is going to be a good one. It's Higher Learning. All right, guys. And for this edition of Higher Learning, I wanted to talk about corruption. The 5 most historically corrupt people in America. I thought that this was interesting. It's from Mental Floss. I thought it was a very interesting article because, I love my history, and we're talking about corruption, right? That's what this whole impeachment is about. People think President Trump is going to go down in history as one of the most corrupt leaders in American politics. So here we go. A short list of some of the most corrupt people in American history. Number 1, Boss Tweed. Have you guys ever seen Gangs of New York?
Yeah.
All right.
Great movie.
Tweed was the politician always running around with Bill the Butcher. Vote Tammany.
Yes.
Vote Tammany. All right.
Yes.
So he's the original gangster, original scumbag, corrupt politician. This guy, Boss Tweed, made corruption an art form. He ran throughout the Civil War era and made money hand over fist. Check this out. Here's some of the things that they would do. Tweed once bought 300 benches at $5 a piece, then went and sold them back to the city at $600 a piece.
Damn! And back in the 1800s?
1800s. Exactly.
Whenever this was, holy
Listen to this. The building of City Hall was, for the building of City Hall, the city was charged $7,500 for every thermometer, $4,100 for each broom, $5 million for carpets and furniture, and even one carpenter alone received over $360,000 for 30 days' work.
That is some scumbag.
Yeah, bro. And we're talking about the 1800s. Dude, he was rumored to make profits of more than $200 million in that time. There's got to be in the billions.
Yeah, in today's time for sure.
Yeah, dude, that's all they had was horseback carriage, maybe train. And...
steam. Everything was steam powered. He died in prison in 1878, by the way. So the law did eventually catch up to him.
Good. Okay, so it had a happy ending.
Imagine
Life's
that,
about
though.
balance. Life is
There's
about
no
balance.
Home Depot, bro. If I have wood to build a house for you or whatever, and there ain't another one for 1,000 miles, guess what? Scumbag.
President Grant, everybody knows the 18th president, was one of the biggest war heroes of our time, right? He was the president from 1869 to 1877, but his whole time in office was marred by political scandal. And here's the 4 major ones. The Credit Mobilier. It was a railroad construction scandal that involved the federal government and Union Pacific stockholders, where they basically robbed stockholders of more than $20 million. The Whiskey Ring. Over 100 Treasury Department officials were convicted of taking bribes and cutting deals for whiskey distillers. The Indian Ring. Scandals of bribes where companies were licensed to trade on Indian reservations. And Black Friday, a scheme involving Grant's brother-in-law who attempted to artificially inflate the price of gold. So we're talking about some of the biggest scandals in American history all happened during President Grant's presidency.
Yeah, that's pretty scumbag. Yeah. I mean, that goes to show you, man, the governments have always been scumbags.
Yeah. And he's considered a hero today.
Mm-hmm.
He's the president that made the railroads, right?
By scamming half of the country.
The stakeholders,
by it, you know?
Exactly. That's a good point, yeah.
Evil, man.
Check out this one. This one blew my mind. The entire nation of Bangladesh. The non-government watchdog group Transparency International repeatedly ranks Bangladesh near the top of the list of the world's most corrupt nations. You can't... So, according to this list, okay, you have to pay postmen to get your mail. Bus drivers got to pay cops to let them drive their routes. Victims of crimes have to pay cops for someone to be arrested. Doctors take bribes just to dispense medicine. And even meter readers got to get their palms greased to keep people's energy and water bills low.
Wow.
Dude, it's estimated that over 6% of the nation's gross national profit is spent on corruption. Now, that's a 6%. Whole nation's gross national
GDP.
profit.
Yeah, we're talking about millions and millions and millions of dollars. Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's a way of life. Bribery is the only way you can get your heat. It's like a bill. That's pretty ridiculous. And that just means that there's no checks and balances, you know? So for all the for all this crap we talk about America, there's, the government has checks and balances. There are other governments that have no checks and balances and no one's gonna stop them. Can't use a toilet without paying.
So check this out. The Honorable Judge Maloney, 1970s and 80s, Cook County Circuit System. Thomas J. Maloney, during the 13 years he spent on the bench as a judge from 77 to 1990, Maloney fixed as many as 6 murder trials, taking bribes from $10,000 to $100,000 from gangs to convict members of other gangs for murder or manslaughter.
Wow. Hey, it's like the movies. Sometimes real life is better than the movies. You can't make this stuff up. That's how awesome it is. And awesome in the way, like, what? Like, unbelievable. Imagine what cases these were. Like, who did they send these people to jail? Like, the judge.
Dude, he was convicted.
Was the bastard in this. Like... You were doomed to fail, brother.
Yeah, exactly. There's no such thing as a fair trial there.
Right.
Think about that. That's pretty terrible. Jeez.
That is pretty terrible.
He was sentenced. It eventually caught up to him. He was sentenced to 15 years and 9 months in prison, but he ended up blowing his brains out before the feds came to put him away.
Yeah, I think that people like that, and this I think I put it in the same ballpark as that women who falsify rape claims. and like the Emmett Till old lady. I think that if you make those claims to the point where you're taking someone's life, whether it's prison or life, you deserve life imprisonment. Like, you deserve the entire justice book sent at you because you literally used it to destroy somebody's life on a lie. On a lie. And I think you deserve an eye for an eye all the way through it. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't know. See, Money, we've talked about this before. You guys have seen documentaries like The 13th, stuff like that. What do you think?
I've always been... I'm on the side with JB. I mean, an eye for an eye. But I just don't... I don't know. I don't get it, man.
How can you be that big of a scumbag? Like,
well, that's what I mean. Like I said, like we've all been there, where we've hated someone to a point where we've been so angry we're like, oh, I could kill that person. But to be so much of a scumbag to, like to actually physically go to lengths of making people's lives hell or harming people, like it's
pretty.
Yeah, I never understand it. Like, you are changing your life to ruin somebody else's life. Like, it's crazy. I'll never understand it.
And the last one, Alexander the Sixth. He was the Pope from 1492 to 1503. Total scumbag, this guy. He bribed his way into power. He used his place with God as a way to sell indulgences. He married off his children 2-3 times to richer, more powerful people. He had numerous illegitimate children with many different women. Yeah, he was even known to grease noblemen and influence changes in power at his time. Total scumbag, Alexander the Sixth.
Super scumbag. Yeah. One thing I know about the church back in that time is that they were a superpower within themselves, right? Like, a country would have a superpower. Well, the church itself was a superpower. And when you have that much power and you're the Pope, which essentially was the leader of that superpower, I mean, it gets to your head. The money, the riches. Literally, you can have whatever you want. And God wouldn't stop you, brother. And God be damned if he don't let me grease these noblemen.
There you go. There you have it, folks. That's your higher learning, guys. Never trust the Pope. I'm kidding. Anyway, that's a show. Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Yeah. Always great being here with you in the Cypher. Thanks for listening, people. Thanks for sticking with us every Wednesday. # Weed Wednesdays. At the Podheads Web Show on social media. I'm at Podhead Frank. We'll holla at you next time. JB.
Yeah, you said it. Frank the Tank, thank you so much to all our listeners out there. Social media all over the place. Just Google us. I love doing this every week with you guys, and I can't wait to do it some more. See you next time, guys. See Money.
Fun as always. Thanks for joining us, guys. At Make and See Money on Twitter and Instagram. And reach out to us. We aren't on high horses here. # See Munchies for all your food needs. Send me pictures of stuff that you make. I want to know recipes, all that good stuff, guys. We'll see you next time right here on WJHM 102 Jams, the Podheads Web Show. Peace.
Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties. Contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org. The Type View Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373. The Tri-Beer Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator rights. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com.